Wait. That's all right. We'll just go from there.
You're good.
I just switched to the wrong key.
You did. You'll cut that though. You'll cut that.
We'll leave it.
Oh, leave it. There you go.
It's not about being perfect,
baby.
Yeah. Cam Smith, what's up, dude?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm real good.
Cam Smith of the rock band Eugene Levy, and you're your own like solo producer, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I didn't realize that until I was listening to the country tracks you sent me. But I'm like, this is full production,
bro. Kind of do everything, huh?
So when did you start getting into like producing your own songs fully? Because I've always known you just as like a gearhead number one, guitar player.
Yep.
Well, guitar player gearhead combo. Every time I see you, you're like, dude, check out this new bridge, whatever.
Yeah.
And so when did you start producing your own stuff, man?
It would have been last year.
Okay.
Very recent, dude.
And you're running Reaper?
Yeah, we run Reaper.
All these Reaper heads running around here, man.
Are there? I didn't know. Alex uses Reaper, does he not?
Yeah.
Okay, so but everybody uses Pro Tools and Ableton and all that, and I'm like, dude, okay. But the issue is that, well, it wasn't an issue. It was just like, Aaron Isaacson, who recorded all of the, other Eugene Levy stuff, used Reaper. Right. And so I was like, if I'm going to learn from somebody, it's going to be that dude. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He was like, yeah, just get Reaper. You know what I mean? Get the free version. And I was like, well, then I started hating the pop-ups, you know what I mean? That was like, hey, we'd love you to buy it, And so I was like, dude, I'm just going to buy it.
How much was it?
Must have been $30, $50, dude.
Oh, that's it?
That's it, dude.
Oh, that ain't bad.
So I was like, yeah, I'm buying it. So I bought it, and that was it. And I discorded with him because he moved to Arizona. And so I discorded with him, and he was like, hey, I'm going to show you how to track your own stuff. And I was like, cool. So, because I had riffs, like, dude, I write, it's like constantly have a guitar in my hand. So I'm like writing, and I've got these cool riffs, but, I'm using the phone, voice memo, and I'm doing it on the acoustic so I can hear it, right? So you can hear it. Right. I've got these, but it doesn't hit, you know what I'm saying? Like there's an inspiration thing that comes from the different tones and the different, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I was like,
every new sound that you get from a plug-in or an amp or a pedal or whatever,
inspires something.
It's a new riff, because it reacts differently.
100%.
It talks your guitar talks back to you.
100%.
People don't know that, but it does. Sometimes it says stop playing.
It's like, yo, you're killing this one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to,
Right.
100%. And so once I learned that, I was like, great, this is perfect for us demoing. I did that, got used to it. And then I was like, man, for demoing purposes, I'd really like to start, learning how to build drums, because as a musician, I started on drums, honestly, when I was young, didn't stick with it very long. So I can't drum like on an actual kit, but like you know how drums should sound and what they, you know what I mean? And so got the plugins. Aaron showed me how to MIDI my drums out. So everything you hear is a MIDI drum.
So are you playing it on a keyboard?
No, I map it out with
you program everything
with mouse and
the hi-hats and everything,
bro.
Man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It really is. You can copy and paste. Once you get your
main beat,
just get a measure down.
Yeah,
and then copy and paste it until you get to a new.
And that's good enough for a demo.
It's good enough for a demo.
And then you get the real drummer.
Then you get the real,
So who's playing?
And that's the thing too, right? And so boom, I'm gonna spoil a lot of beans right now. So our last single that just came out, right, Beneath the Starlit Sky.
Well, okay, wait. What beans are you spoiling?
There's not a real drummer on it.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
I did it, dude.
You did all the program drums?
Yeah. So me and Aaron both did it. Yeah. So he spiced them up a little bit to like make it feel or hear. Like if a drummer was to listen to that, they'd be like, oh yeah, for sure. That's a drummer actually playing that, because you can get robotic. Right. And that's not what you want, right? So,
well, I think for recording purposes, it's usually, at this point, with where like modern technology is, it kind of makes, at least if you're on a budget, like if you have unlimited resources, then sure, try every drum that you got, Here's
the thing too. And so you're right, but even on everybody's favorite, rock track, will be MIDI drums on more than you think there are. And for two, so mixing just a single snare hit or whatever on a real drummer's, track. So you'll get the different tracks, right? So you get the snare, kick, and all that. They're all layered with a sample. You know what I mean?
It's all triggers.
Dude, yeah. So it's all sampled out anyway. You know what I mean? So it's like where technology is now, it makes no sense not to. But the cool thing about being able to do this on my own is that I can actually flesh out a full idea.
Right.
Because it's not like, okay, I got this riff, but now I don't have drums to like inspire me as to, now I hear it going this place.
Right.
And then I can find where I want it to go. What's interesting, or what's that transition into, whether it be a chorus or a pre-chorus or whatever. You know what I mean?
For demo purposes, for writing and recording purposes, well, not just demo. I mean, even, the final track and stuff, but still, like, as awesome as MIDI drums are and everything, and Easy Drummer and automated drums, the feeling of playing with a real drummer,
it's night and day,
who can match your energy, and when you're going up, they max it out
100%,
ripping fills and stuff. Like no MIDI drummer.
No way, no way, and you're not wrong. So that's why live. You know what I mean? It's so obviously.
So who's playing drums with Eugene Levy these days? Are you guys
Cole Elliott?
Yeah,
he's out of Coal Valley, Illinois.
Oh,
yeah.
awesome.
So we just found him from Austin Pond, recommended him to us. Yeah. So
and that's 5 a.m.
from 5 a.m. Yep.
Okay.
So he recommended us to, because dude, we've tried everybody, right? Even you were even a little,
I couldn't do it, man.
Dude, I'm asking everybody, dude, if you can swing sticks, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up, right? So, and then we found Cole, and he worked out to be pretty good for us, and he's our live drummer right now. So
that's awesome.
But for what we do, nobody knows, you know what I mean? Unless I just said it right now, nobody knew that was MIDI drummed. Yeah. Right. So
cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag,
Can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Bro, and that's the thing is that, as a small band like that, finances are hard, bro.
Yeah.
You're going to pay $60 an hour for studio time. And then not only that, you got $60 an hour just to track the drums. Right. Dude's got to edit the drums to make them, in time, each hit's perfect, etc. There's an additional, $60 an hour of his time.
Right.
Why not just do it this way, right? So
for sure,
that's why we did it that way, to try to save money. And the cool thing about it was we tracked everything in my house.
Yeah,
everything was done in my house.
Yeah, your new studio is looking great, man.
It's coming together, man, and I'm really proud of it. And
next week I'm going to swing by.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Well, hey, I know you've told me this story before, but one of the things that I think is really cool and unique about you as a guitar player, especially like proudly based in Muscatine, Iowa, is this PRS sponsorship that you got.
Yeah, dude.
I remember when I saw that, I was like, what? Like,
did you?
how did he pull that? Like, that's awesome, man. So tell me a little bit about how that came together.
No different than Alex, right? Yeah. No different than Alex. So if you watched last week's episode, please watch that, right? So Alex Coates is a phenomenal player. I am not a hair, on his arm in regards to a guitar player, dude.
Did you see me trying to sweep?
Dude, and you learned it. And then you did it like pretty quickly. And the thing is that now, you and I are so like advanced in regards to muscle memory, is that we'll pick it up rather quickly.
Right.
Am I going to use this, and why do it if I'm not going to use it? And that's where I am, right? I'm a guitar player that doesn't care enough. Like, I just want to do what I want to do. Yeah. And then that's good enough for me. I'm a writer I love to write, but I love to be the rhythm guy. Yeah. I don't know why, but it's always been that way for me. But that's, so shout out to Alex being a stud player that he is. But no different than him in regards to his Kiesel sponsorship.
Yeah.
It was, we played their guitars, right, respectively. He played Kiesel for so long. I've been playing Paul Reed Smith since I was a young kid, dude.
Yeah.
They were SE models, right? So
hey, I got an SE around here. Yeah, Santana
so, dude,
SE model.
That's the first one I ever had, was a Santana SE, model? Bro. The first ones that ever came out. So my dad got me that, and because dude, Wes Borland, Mark Tremonti, all these guys that have played, Linkin Park. Everybody played PRS when I was growing up, and I was, Guitar World magazines, if you were ever into the Guitar World magazines. Oh, yeah. So my dad would get those in, I'd look at them, and I'd see Story of the Year. They all had these sick ass guitar, sorry if I can, but sick guitars, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something about that aesthetic is hot.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh, and the burnt inlays, it was just like, and the horns.
I love the matte black with the gold trim.
This is sick, right? Yeah. So yeah, but they make beautiful flame maple, top, beautiful guitars. So, I always wanted one, and that's how it started. And I played them. Finally had this platform to where I thought, I think now is a good shot, right? And if I'm going to have a shot to where it's like, what what can this guy do for us? Right. As PRS. Right. So, you know, I have something to give. It's not a lot, but it's something. So I was like, what can I do? And then they came out with this Pulse Artist program where it's for us mid-tiers, lower-tiered guys, where, you know, it's not like we're Mark Tremonti of Alter Bridge and Creed, you know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, we'll signature model, you know, that sort of thing. Now it's just, you know, hey, we'll hook you up, you know, here and there, you know, we'll shout you out. You know, they put out a newsletter that on their website, I'm listed on their website as an artist, and, you know, the news that's coming out, what Eugene Levy's doing or what I'm doing personally and that sort of thing. So it's cool, you know, that I have that platform, and then I can also interact with other artists. So it was a cool meshing point there. So I was like, you know, Zach Myers from Shinedown. Yeah. I'm able to talk to him all the time. Right. And so you get these cool little things, you know, little perks, but that's how it started, dude. I reached out and I was like, you know, hey, I'm in this project. I've been playing your guitars for, you know, this long, you know, curious, you know, is there anything out there for a guy like me? And yeah, they were happy to have me on board. And, yeah. And then these two, well, that one came first, and then this is my newest one, but it became my baby. Right on. And then I was, you know, with the trim, right? The trim bridges, these are, you know, not like yours, which is, you know, like a hardtail, you know. And I always wanted the hardtail, but PRS on their double cut models, especially their 24 fret, you know, models, they don't come with it. They always have that trim. And playing outdoor, indoor, out, you know, between the summer and dude, I'm so sick of tuning
all the time.
Dude, so I was like, I'm just going to get an Evertune. Yeah. Once they came out, I was like, I'm getting an Evertune. Yeah. And then everybody was like, oh, you gonna route that thing out? And I was like, ooh, you're right. Yeah. And then I was like, dude, we played one outdoor show, summer, hot as it could be, just out of whack. Yeah. And I'm anal, man, about everything gear wise and how everything sounds. And
you have the Evertune on that, right?
Everything. Yep. So got it on both.
For people that aren't familiar with the Evertune, because I wasn't before I talked to you, and you were just going on and on about it. And me as a blues player, like I was like, wait, you're taking out the vibrato? You're taking out the bends?
No,
like,
not at all.
What are you even going to play, man?
Right, exactly.
So, give us a little demo on the Evertune bridge, and, you know, walk me through like what you as a player like about it, and like what scenarios it's really good for. Just give us a little
so it's good for two scenarios, right? So I mean,
you got volume there?
I have volume, sure.
Okay, yeah. So
vibrato, right?
So you can still get the vibrato with it.
Of course. I just set it, and you set it with the tuning knobs. Okay. This doesn't go out of tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Black magic, what I'm seeing right here. So what?
Hear that?
Okay, so there it goes. Right back. So it's when you go down to, can you see how far he's bending that? Okay, yeah, you can. That's insane. You're bending like a full whole step.
I would be a whole step.
And you hear nothing. That's crazy. Do you know how it works? Can you
Yeah, so it's all mechanical. It's all springs and levers.
So what you're doing here, it's making up for on the back of the guitar?
Yes, sir.
Man, that's crazy. So if you tune your tuning peg back up to a certain pitch?
Yep, so I go, once you hear it go.
Once you hear the pitch?
Yeah, raise, bring it back down, and that's the zone in which.
So you can you don't have to eliminate all of your vibrato and bending then.
I can set whatever string I want to bend and not bend.
Oh, man.
That's what's sick.
So like when do you want to do that? Why would you want to, what are do you have certain songs where you just don't want anything on your low end moving, or how do you utilize it?
I'm pretty solid on my hand placements, especially live, right? So, I'm really, like I said, I'm anal, right? And so I really pay attention. Like if I'm jumping around on stage, that I'm not a guitar player, that I kind of just rest. You know what I mean? I'm not holding on. And then when you tighten up, right, everything starts to bend. You're putting all that pressure. And then that's when you get little wacky, right. Notation and pitching. Right. So I don't worry about it too much. But in like a scenario of tracking, you want to track phenomenal.
Right.
Track phenomenal, rhythms or whatever guitar. If you're not doing a vibrato and you just want solid takes, set that son of a gun to what we just showed you, and you can bend that thing from here to China, and nobody will know. It'll play perfectly every time. Dude, it's phenomenal. This piece of equipment's sick. And now I'm already back. I'm already back.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
still
Beautiful.
I'll never be out of tune, ever.
Yeah. And that was Shoemaker Guitar Works?
Shoemaker, yeah, Thad Shoemaker. Yeah, he is a stud, man.
Yeah, he does a lot of awesome work. I've
Dude,
followed
on the oldest of old, coolest pieces that you've ever seen, restore, right? Restoration, just brings things back to life, dude. And so he does everything for me.
And he's out of the Quad Cities?
He's off of Harrison Street.
I got a couple project guitars I might need
Dude,
to
he's the
take
man
to him,
for
so.
it. Yeah, he builds guitars, he does everything. But he put in both of these Evertune bridges. They were working progresses because they were aliens to him whenever he got there. And so we finally got him dialed in now because, I like to know how they work, and I want to be able to work them when I need them to work, but I don't want to know you know what I mean? All the other setup stuff. So so you tune it like, almost like Floyd Rose. So you need an Allen key to tune.
Okay.
But once it's done, dude, you don't have to touch it.
Yeah.
I haven't tuned these guitars in weeks, probably since I just got them back from Thad. I get them restrung from Thad.
Yeah.
He'll file my stuff down. He'll make sure all my, all my fretboard and stuff's and ready to go, right?
Fretboard gunk.
Yeah, dude. And because you'll have those, right?
I know.
And so, because I track all the time, constantly writing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Levy stuff, unreleased stuff that's just sitting, ready to put vocals on and that sort of thing. And like later, I can show you.
Well, let's jam a little bit, and then let's get into some of that stuff.
Yeah, let's do that. Let me figure something out for you, huh?
Yeah.
You want to see what I'm saying? Oh, that's it right there.
Nice, man. Hell yeah, dude. So, before we get into some of that unreleased Levy stuff, man, tell me a little bit about your background as a guitar player. And I know you said you started off on the drums, and I know you said your dad played guitar.
Yeah,
so,
that's how it happened.
How did that transfer to you? And when did you start? And how did you go from not knowing to being a halfway decent guitar player? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so he was in bands, right? So since I can remember, man, I started when I was 6. So before that time, he was playing in like cover bands, with some of his friends and whatnot, playing bars, right? And I was always too young to go, but I would see photos. But I would always go to band practices. I always thought that was intriguing, dude. And I would go, I'd be like, man, he's doing it. Dude.
My dad's band practices is where I heard the guitar, and I was like, what is
this
that?
is unreal,
Yeah.
dude. But I fell in love with drums first because I was like, drums are sick.
It's a little more easy to conceptualize.
I thought, right,
smash.
I can hit things for sure, right? It's the finger things that's got me goofed.
Right.
And I just think I fell in love with it once I saw my dad doing it, and I was like, well, he could probably just teach me a little bit.
And when was that? You were
6.
6?
Yeah.
So you started playing guitar
early,
when you were
dude.
about 6.
Yeah. And the first song I ever learned, I'll never forget, was
Smoke on the Water.
No, believe it or not. Kenny Wayne Shepherd's Blue on Black.
Okay.
Yeah, right. God,
Can we hear?
I don't know if I'm not tuned right. So is it? Right.
Yeah.
And so those chords we learned, that's what my dad wanted me to learn first. He was like, you hammer out, the D and then into the C into the G and you'll be good. Right. So D, C, G and you'll be good.
Man, that's.
That's it,
DCG.
right? Dude, if you can find home there, you can write anything, dude, right? So that's where it started. I started there, and then I was like, man, we got into Well, because he was into all that stuff. He was into the Southern rock. He was into, the classic rock. Yeah, Ozzy. I listen to Ozzy more than I listen to anything, probably, believe it or not. So Zakk Wylde is my hero.
Have you heard Ozzy's newest album?
Not a fan, bro.
You weren't a fan of the new one?
Man.
Well, I love the Zakk Wylde tracks on it.
I do too, but I don't like anything, and I don't know why that is, dude. I really don't know why that is. I don't know why I'm so partial to Zakk's playing. Artists
develop. Early Ozzy is different than late Ozzy. So
no, 100%. But I love Jake E. Lee style playing too, though. You know what I mean? And Randy Rhoads. And see, maybe I don't appreciate it like that because I wasn't around to understand. Like when my dad talks about it, or your dad talks about it, it's like this was time changing. It was like he bit the, the stratosphere in regards to what a guitar could do or was supposed to do.
Right.
And I don't see that. Because we live in a world now where it's like, there's nothing that you can do on a guitar that hasn't been done.
I know.
And I think we missed out on, as lovers of music and guitar. I think it sucks that we missed out on that. But
sure.
But that's, and long story short is honestly how I got into guitar is just hearing all the different things. And then once I listened to heavier music, like with my dad, like the Godsmacks and the Creed, when the Creed first came out, I fell in love with the chunk. I was like, what is that? For one, what's drop D? And that was intriguing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't have to use two fingers? I just thought that was cool. And then, it went ugly from there, dude.
Yeah. If you can't play power chords, drop D is a beautiful place to
place to be, right?
All you got to do is just be able to push a few strings down and move it up and down.
Right. So, but I started normal, right? The normal power chords. And then I just wanted to get lower and lower and lower. And then I realized that people were doing, then I listened, what was I listening to? Godsmack. And I was like, oh, they do drop C?
Yeah.
And I said, oh, this is silly.
Man, Alex in here last week with his 8-string guitar.
That's barbaric.
Low E. I told him, I was like, that gives me nightmares.
Well, for one, I feel so comfortable on this sort of scale here.
I know.
If I want to play a tree trunk,
yeah.
I mean,
he rips it up though, dude.
Doesn't he?
He's
something,
man.
Yeah, he's something.
Yeah, but those 8
alien,
strings,
bro. He's an alien. I'm not convinced he's human. Honestly, I'm just not.
Well, he wore a hat the whole time he was in
know.
here, so I think that he's hiding a
giant
giant
dude.
dome.
Coneheads.
Yeah,
he's hiding it, dude. With the hair too. He's got a lot of the hair. But yeah, dude, that's how I started playing guitar. And so a lot of people do that, right? And you probably never did because obviously you're still playing. They just give it up. Because, dude, we didn't just pick it up and say, oh, God, it just came natural to me.
Right.
Bro, I was.
Yeah.
Do you remember using your other hand to put it where you wanted it to go?
Yeah, you'd be looking at it and you're like, why isn't that one coming out right?
Yeah, and so even when I teach people here and there, because, like family members, they'll be like, man, I really want to play guitar. I'm like, yeah, just come over. I'd love to show you. I'll always have to move their finger, and they're always like forcing. They don't want it to go, and I'm like, just relax, Yeah. And I think once you get past that point, that's when you start to be like, now I don't have to put it down. Now I can do things, and I have that muscle memory, and I'm loose, and I'm, so it just takes. You just got to get through that. Once you get through that, then it's game over.
Do you have any any mental tricks, or I guess not mental, but any tricks for yourself that you use to just kind of, for me, I know some people they get a little hung up on, improvisation and just jumping in and finding something. Like even right there, I wasn't sure what key we were in.
I'm like you.
Find it. We were at B, and then as soon as I know the key, I'm like,
now I'm decent.
I know where I can go.
I know that.
What kind of hacks do you use to get into that?
The ear's my hack, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm not Alex, dude. I don't do lessons. I never learned music theory. I don't know how to read music. I don't know anything about. I have no idea what this note is. I know the positioning. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm in flat, right? So I'm in D flat. Everything's flat.
Okay.
So like this would be C, but I don't know now where now that I'm that, it might be F sharp. But that's where I'm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like where you're at, this would be C. I know I'm in C.
Right.
And I know that up here I'm in G and then D. You know what I mean? I know that.
Yeah.
After that, see ya.
Yeah.
No clue.
It's all ear.
Bro, I have no idea. But I know I can start somewhere. If I start on my root notes, I know I'm good.
Right. Yeah.
And I know that I can. And then, I don't know what I'm doing now, right? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have to find it. And then once I practice it, that sort of thing. But I'm not that guitar player, and I'm not, I'm just not. I'll find it when I'm writing it, and that's what I want to play,
Sure.
I know to stay in the realms.
Yeah.
And I stay in the realms, major, minor. I can be there with you.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all patterns.
Isn't it?
Like for me, the blues box.
The blues box.
That's my bread and
Absolutely.
butter.
That's where I'm at. I love the skipping. I love that the fret skip. That you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were doing it. Do you start? Where do you start? Yeah.
It's just a little.
Oh, isn't it ugly with the face?
Yeah.
Right.
Love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, I want to take a moment to address something that's very serious, and a lot of people make kind of a joke out of it. But
Sure.
there's a guitar face disease that a lot of people get struck by. They don't realize it. It's where you're just ripping something nasty.
Have
and
you
can't even help
seen
the
me on
face.
stage, bro? Oh God! If you
I
see
do it
me
all the
on
time.
stage, man, and I
I'll
get
sit-
to a point. Oh God! Jake over there knows what I'm talking about, right? So when you hit the dude, as soon as you hear, if you're in the crowd, or maybe you wrote it and you're listening to it, but once you're in the presence of it, when you're in the studio or you're hearing it somewhere, let somebody, dude, in my head and where he's at, you're a blues guy. I know you appreciate it, but not like Jake and I do, right? So when you hit the
Oh, come on. I get some stank face on anything, man.
But see where I went already? Do you see where I went? I didn't even know my face was doing anything. It just automatically goes to.
Yeah, I know. So we want to raise money for guitar player Stank Face.
Yep.
Feel free to Venmo at Cooper Hopkins.
That's right.
And that'll go straight to the Save Stank Face Fund.
That's exactly
So-
right. Yeah, I've already donated, so yeah.
Well, okay. So what's some advice that you would give to somebody who's like a beginner player and one of those people that just can't get their finger quite in the right spot? How do
Pick it up every day.
pick it up every
Pick it up
day?
every day, dude. Every day. Because it's a muscle, right? So it's a
Right.
muscle and the muscle memory thing. And I don't remember, honestly, how long it took me, to get comfortable. But it passes, right?
Yeah.
That the inept ability to, my fingers just aren't, they, of course they're not. You know what I mean? All this is foreign to you,
Right.
And I think I worked my right hand more than I worked on my picking hand, right?
Sure.
So I wanted to be able to do what I needed to do here. And I don't know how the sides of the brain work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't have to look here a whole lot, right? I look over here more than I do anything,
Right.
but I think I already know where I'm at here just by whatever side of the brain works that whole thing.
Sure.
But I think just pick it up every day, at least an hour a
I think
day.
that's the right side of the southern hemisphere of the back half.
That's right.
No, I'm just
Right. With the equilibriums and all that. Right. I understand. And the medulla oblongata, I think, also has
That
something
has
to
so
do with
much
it.
to do with
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
yeah.
you gotta work the medulla every day.
Every day, right? Because otherwise you will become aggressive. Mama said that, right? So,
Well, one thing I always try to say to people that are picking it up or want to get better at it, that don't know where to start, is I think a lot of people look at it starting out and they're like, okay, there's 6 strings. I got to do something with
know.
all 6 strings.
exactly.
I say, take it one string at a time.
I say that too. 100%.
And then once you got that done, play around with power chords. And then once that feels okay, add the D string. Once that feels all right, add the G
Now
string.
right, exactly. I love that, right?
know?
That's a great analogy. And so I said the same thing, right? And you're right. Start one string at a time. I think the first thing, I'll say this, I think the first thing that people struggle with is when they don't know how to hold it, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they push it down, they're
Right.
grip tight on that
Yeah.
thing, dude.
Right.
I think find a relaxing point. See, there's no force that,
Right.
And then the smooth transitions, right? Moving it down and up and all that. And then this is where it gets tricky, right? Getting another finger involved
Right.
to go where you want it to go. That's where things get ugly. Because
Right.
now you've trained the index, but now you got to do it to this finger.
Right.
Oh no. So The whole thing is sticking with it. Everybody who still plays today started where everybody starts at.
Right.
It's either you stick with it or you don't.
Pick it up and shred, yeah.
Dude, yeah, nobody just picks it up and shreds. You either stick with it or you don't. And that's the thing. That's what separates guitar players and non-players.
Right.
Sticking with it, man. And I think you play an hour a day, 30 minutes a day is better than no minutes a day. You know what I mean? So, even with our busy lives now, I still find time, at least a week, to sit down and just get inspiration. Yeah. And I don't learn other people's songs. And, I used to, right? Because I didn't know any better. Right. Once I learned, what I could do, I went to writing immediately. Right. I was like, man, I just want to write my own stuff. I like what I like, and I just want to see what that's like, right? I always wanted to be an artist. So I always thought being on stage was the coolest thing since sliced bread. I was like, this is what I want to do. Right. I saw Creed. My first concert was Creed, bro. I think it was when maybe Human Clay came out, dude. I was young. My dad, my mom, maybe just my dad. My mom probably went too, but I think we all three went. Holy dude. It was unreal, right?
Where was it at?
St. Louis, dude. Nice. Yeah, so it might have been in the Dome at the time, man, but or it was at the hockey stadium, the hockey arena that's there, the St. Louis Blues arena. But it was that was life changing to me, right? When you see that many people in the crowd doing what they're doing, reacting that way, it's like, I want to do this. Yeah. And so and that's a journey all on its own. That's disheartening all on its own, right? In regards to just Jesus. You talk about a shot in the dark, brother. Getting somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying? Like being recognized and like being being that band on stage that people sing back to your, something that you created and all that. That's a high all on its own, and chasing that high. And
I wouldn't know. Every band I've been in has been a disaster. So
they always are, dude. Trust me. This one here is just shy of a disaster, and we all have a blast doing what we're doing, and
So you mentioned some unreleased Levy stuff. I know you're constantly working on different projects. What's in the tank for you guys as a band? I know you got some shows coming up at Gypsy Highway.
We're doing some shows, coming back into some shows. But last year we just wanted to take a break, man, because for one, I was learning how to record, right, and so I was like, I just think we need new stuff, and we need to be inspired as artists first, and then play, entertainers second. We just need to have some stuff tanked out. And so I was just in a different place, on my own, in my own right, because I learned how to record, and I was like, man, I have all these ideas that now I can real time flesh these things out, and I like, I wanted to get onto that. I think, I wanted to speak with you on, I don't know how because you record a little on your own too, right? So
all the time, man.
See, and so I wanted to talk to you about, before I get into any unreleased stuff and all that. It's not for this. I want to know how other people, how do you find it how do you find inspiration? Yeah. So when I flesh something out, I find a riff, right? So I think I'll even talk about the one that's released now. So Beneath the Stardunk Sky. Can I get into that real quick?
Yeah, so absolutely.
Super different, right? It's different in the fact that, is it normal pop punk? Sure, right? But the verse isn't standard, the verse chord progression and all that isn't standard, it's not standard that, right? So the verse on that is... What a cool lick. Yeah. That was a sweet lick. And I don't think it's pop, or I don't think it's punk. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's got a little bit of twang. It's got a little blues, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That does, if you heard that riff, and that's just, but the rhythm, it changes everything, right? So now it's super upbeat and all that. You can change it and all that, but once I had that riff, I was like, oh man, this is different. You know what I mean? And so I start with that, and then I build from there.
For sure.
Yeah. And then I'm like, ooh, I think I hear the drums doing this. And then I'll build that little section, and then I'll be like, now where does it go? Yeah. And that's kind of how I write. But, I've been trying to find different inspiration and different rhythms in my right hand, and also doing different things than the norm with my left hand. Yeah. Get out of the box, right? The standard.
My blues box.
Yeah, dude, stay in there, right? But for sure, but who the hell writes that? I would have never figured that out. I want to smile when I play it, dude. Huh? You know?
It sounds great, man.
Yeah.
And
So
you guys just put that out, right?
just put it out. Yeah.
Okay,
What was it?
cool.
Last month, I guess now.
Okay.
It's flying, dude. Right?
Awesome.
Time's flying. But yeah, do you do the same thing? Do you find like a lick and then you're like, ooh, that could be something? Or do you not really build songs, dude? Like, I don't know what you do.
Well, it kind of depends, you know, if I'm writing for a specific vocalist that I have like in mind that I want to work with, then I might think like, okay, you know, what kind of style are they into?
I know.
You know, because sometimes like as a vocalist, like, you know, I may really dig something like. Like I might do something like groovy like that, but I might send it to a vocalist and they're like, the guitar's doing too much. Yeah. Or it might, they might say like, that's not me. So it kind of depends on, you know, what purpose I'm writing for. If I'm producing a country album, then most of the time I'm probably going to, you know, start off keeping it fairly basic.
Right.
And just, you know, the most important thing in country music is the vocals, the words, the singers.
Yeah, right.
So if I'm writing for a country artist, I'm not necessarily thinking about like, okay, how do I make a new groundbreaking riff, you know?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
If it just kind of all depends. Like if I'm writing for some hip hop stuff, then I might just like start with again, like I feel like a lot of music today, what people want to hear is they want to hear something relatively listenable, and a lot of times that means, you know, it's simple. Like, you know, sometimes like this bores the hell out of me, but that's like most pop songs right there.
But it bores you, right?
You know, it bores me as a guitar player.
Exactly. But dude, when you put something on top of that, that's where I go with, right? So of course it's boring. But when you put a nice little lead in there, right? So, you know, something over the top, like, or let me do this. This will go straight into this, right? And it'll go through the mixer. This is unreleased Levy. Listen to the just bass and 808. Now everything comes in, right?
Love it.
2 notes. That's your vocal melody. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's your vocal melody. I'm leaving all the space out for the vocals to carry a melody.
Sounds good. And that's really it depends what you're writing for. Sometimes if I'm just running like a loop for me to shred over, then I'm going to play something different, you know.
100%.
But that sounds awesome, man. That's a new track you guys are working on?
Yeah, that's one that we're working on.
Did we just hear some unreleased Levy?
You did, yeah. Dude, we ain't that big. I don't care. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I don't want to cause a rift with the other Levy members.
No, it'll be with me and they'll be pissed. It's fine. Country track.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, I just, you know, I write all different stuff. Let's go.
Yeah.
You hear a banjo in there?
Is that a banjo in there?
Yeah. I don't even own a banjo. But see, I get all different inspiration.
Yeah.
Right here, I hear just a good, you know, like a sweet vocal over the top of this. You know what I mean? Something real southern. You know what I mean? It's got that southern rock, country, that dirt rock sort of thing.
Yeah.
That little but layers.
Yeah, sounds great.
So,
man.
You know, I'm with you. It depends on what I'm writing, right? But it doesn't always. I don't always just write pop punk stuff, dude.
For sure.
You know, I find inspiration everywhere, and so, you know.
Well, hey, man, let's. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to uncover here while we're on, but we'll jam one more and probably play ourselves out.
I need to find where we're at. Where can we go that we haven't been? You love the blues, right? You know,
play whatever you want, man.
Here, we'll just...
Cam
Thanks for
Smith.
having me on, dude.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
This is fun.
Absolutely.